to talk about how to plan an exciting and effective preschool lesson. I'm using foundations of early childhood skills and research-based ideas to engage and teach in a developmentally appropriate way. The first thing you're going to need to do is choose the foundational skill or area that you're going to focus on. For Indiana, there's Early Learning Foundations, which is a link here, which I will be putting this document in the descriptions below, so you can link on that. If you're in a different state, you just Google your Early Learning Foundations or standards. The options for us are social, emotional, math, language, creative arts, approaches to play, physical growth and healthy living, social studies, or science. I am going to choose the math skill. This is the standard. This is what it looks like in the early learning document. And we're going to do demonstrating strong sense of counting, which you'll see in the purple. In the green, you see the different age levels that you can use. These are ideas of things that may indicate that they are able to complete this skill. But remember, these are not prescribed set of skills. These are to give you an understanding of the skill and how they may demonstrate it, but it may also be in other ways. The next step is going to be to choose a topic. Consider your theme or interest area. If you'd like to see a video on choosing interest areas with preschool age kids and how to use webs to find an interest area your class will work with, let me know in the comments and I will record that video. In the meantime, I am going to choose the topic heart shapes. We're going to be teaching counting using heart shapes. I'm going to put that in the lesson plan document. I'll be putting this in throughout, and we're going to call this lesson Counting Heart Shapes. Every good lesson is going to have a title, foundation, objective, success criteria, whole group lesson, small group lesson, materials, differentiation, and questioning. Minimally. So the foundation when I talked about was demonstrate a strong sense of counting. So I added that. So now we have title and foundation. Our next thing we need to talk about is objective. So what is an objective? Our objective that we're going to use is I can count hearts. Now to the side I put 2 hearts, 3 hearts, 5 hearts, 20 hearts, because those are possible results that a child is going to give you depending on their age and where they are in their counting skills. But if you say I can count heart, everyone would be able to do that. You're using the foundation and you want an objective that everyone can master. You'll see a little can there. I like to say today I will be able to say I can. This is just a great way for them to own that and understand what they're going to be doing. You want the objective to be exactly what all the children are going to do regardless of age and stage, and an I can statement lets you help children understand what they will be learning. Don't keep it a secret. It's really important that you communicate to them as much as possible. This is where we're going. This is the end result. So I'm going to add the objective to the lesson plan. I can count hearts. The next thing we're going to talk about is success criteria. What's that? Success criteria means what is that child going to do? What will you see as you teach the lesson that shows you that they're understanding what your lesson is, and it's not a repeat of the objective. That's very important. Success criteria for this specific topic, I chose 1, they will touch each heart and move it as they count. 2, they will say a number as they touch each heart. And 3, they will count 3 sets of hearts in this lesson. Now, you'll see on the right side, there's visuals. So there's a finger pushing a heart. There's a person counting a number, and then there's the 3 groups that they will count. As you're recording this and tracking what they're doing, this is 3 things you're going to watch to see if they can do, which will help you determine if they've mastered the lesson. So I add those in the success criteria area. And the next thing we're going to look at is the whole group lesson. Now, this is the meat of your lesson, but very, very key. Circle time should be a maximum of 15 minutes. This is including that whole group lesson. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but research has shown us that adults can only focus for 8 minutes on something before they have to have a reset. So we're going to do 15 minutes. And I will do a video later if you guys would like that will show how that circle would work and how you would do that. Modeling is essential for your whole group lesson. You're going to sit in a circle and you're going to demonstrate counting the hearts for them. So how many dice and how much of a heart drawing, which is one of the things we're going to add to the lesson, is complete, depends on your differentiation later. So the lesson is they will roll 1 dice and count that many hearts. They're going to roll 2 dice and count that many hearts. You're going to record a sheet where they draw a heart and color with markers. Now, You will have a sheet with a traceable heart. You will have a sheet with a partial heart, half heart, and no heart. You're going to use some popsicle sticks with the kid's name on them to choose 3 kids to roll the dice and put that number of hearts in your group circle. Front loading, most important thing. Let everyone know before you begin that everyone will get to play the game in small group. The giant hearts and the dice will be available on the shelf during free choice time. The more you can tell them ahead of time, the more you can think of possible problems and address those before they happen, the more successful your lesson will be. This is our whole group lesson. You're going to talk about the objective. You're going to tell them the success criteria using the visuals. Then you're going to say, we're going to practice counting by playing a game. Each child's going to have their name picked out, which they should be familiar with these sticks already. That this is a great way to keep from getting trapped, picking just one gender, not giving different children with different abilities enough turns. You're not choosing. The sticks are choosing. The way I do it is I paint one part of the stick and rotate them as I go. All day long when I need to make a choice, I use the sticks. And when the sticks are all used up, we turn them over and we start again. You're going to choose the children one at a time, have them roll the dice, count the big heart as they move them into a spot. They're going to leave their hearts there, and you will have 3 groups of hearts at the end. So that's a great way when you restate your objective and your success criteria and you say 3 groups of hearts, you will be able to point to the 3 groups. Then you're going to dismiss them by letting them know that they'll come see you when they get a ticket. The ticket system is something I use for small group so that I don't have to yell across the room to people or get up and walk to each child. We have a ticket with my picture and their picture. And when I'm finished with small group or at the beginning of small group, I give those to children to hand out to other children. When they get that, they know they have to come sit at my table and see me. I can do a video about that if you'd like. Just leave a comment. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is small group. For small group, you're going to tell them, we're going to do, I can count my hearts. You're going to read the success criteria. You're going to tell them what the activity is. For this, you can use smaller dice and candy hearts if you like. Have hearts for playing and a different set of hearts for eating. Explain to everyone that they will get a heart to eat when they're finished the game. So here is the written out lesson plan, which is basically the whole group in a smaller version restated. It may seem odd that you're going to say all these things again, but trust me, the more opportunities they have to hear it, the more they will understand. You're also going to model this again. So after that, we're going to talk about materials, which is a very crucial part of your lesson. Knowing what you need and having it prepared saves time and lets you spend time engaging with kids. This is just for you, but it helps you to think through the lesson and also to easily make and gather supplies because you have a list. When creating the supplies, don't forget a class recording sheet. You're going to record the highest number that they can count to on your class checklist, as well as each of the criteria. I use a laminated paper with a dry or wet erase marker to record, and I have one for each day. So that allows me to get to the end of the week before I have to do anything with those. This is an example of the materials on the lesson plan. Large dice, 42 hearts, as large as you can cut out of a piece of standard construction paper in various colors. 42 because with 2 dice, if they roll 12 and you have 3 children do that, you'll have enough hearts. It's probably more than you'll need, but you always want to make sure you have enough no matter what circumstances happen. Then you're going to need 2 bags of candy hearts, one for counting and one for eating. Small dice are optional. You can use the big ones. Recording sheet, like we just talked about, 4 versions of the heart paper in differentiated styles. The number of these will be determined when you're creating your groups. Markers, name sticks, visuals for objective, and success criteria. So, for differentiation, what do you know about these kids? You need to think about what you know about them, what they can already do. You're going to have to model for each group's ability. If you have a group that you know can clearly count to 12 and put out 12 hearts, that's what you're going to model. And the version of the heart paper you'll need for each child will be determined on that. When you print, be sure to print enough to model for each group. And for those who surprise you and can do more than you thought, have an extra one. Then you're going to make sure you take a picture of each heart paper with with the child's face. That way you can add that to their portfolio. You have a record of what they were able to do. It helps you when looking back to see what everyone was able to accomplish. For differentiation, you're going to have a group. You can name your groups. I use A, B, C, and D, and I don't tell them the names of their groups because it's not necessary for me. So you're going to have a group, the name, and then the materials for that group. Because as I said, you're going to differentiate materials. Some kids are going to be able to trace the heart. Some will be able to add a little piece. Some could do half, and some will be able to make an entire heart by themselves. Then questioning. The right questions can make all the difference in your lesson. Create a question for as many of the Bloom's levels as you can. And don't forget to make that poster. Some questions at different levels. I often question very organically, whatever comes up, but if I have planned and am thoughtful about certain questions, I want to make sure I don't forget that. And you can show them, look, we're asking these questions. They're on the page because they're important questions and I need you to know. So look for that Bloom's taxonomy video. So these are questions that I added. What is this shape? Where have you seen this shape before? What are you going to do as you count each one? If you don't touch each one, does it make it hard to remember which ones you have counted? Did you count 3 groups? Do you think you could add anything to your heart picture? And can you write the word heart? Each page, if I didn't mention before, will have the word heart on there. So you can have them rewrite that if they're able to. Some kids are able to start copying the letters if they're in the stage of writing where they're making letter forms. And that is the complete list of what parts of a good lesson plan. So that's a lot. Now, how often? I do one lesson like this for each day, Monday through Thursday. I don't do Friday because I leave that for anecdotal free choice observation. How long does it take to write these lesson plans? A lesson plan for the week usually takes me 1 to 2 hours because I'm very familiar with the foundations and with how to do all the parts of the lesson. So it may take some time to learn the parts of the lesson and what you want to put in them as far as objectives and questioning, but eventually you can get the whole process done, including materials, in about 3 to 4 hours. Preparing materials is something that you will also get better at. It will come more quickly to you. In fact, I add a lot of visuals using a smartboard to these activities, which I can also demonstrate in a video if anyone is interested. I make the visuals for the I can and the success criteria, and then straight through the actual activity itself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you some ideas. And again, if you would like to see any of these parts broken down in their own video, just leave a comment and I'll work on creating them. And please subscribe and check out our Instagram. Have a great day.